Hi everyone, my name is Daria and I'm a developer relations engineer at Subsquid, and today we're going to look at how to run a multiprocessor squid. In this video, I'm going to show you how to index USDC transfers on both Ethereum and Polygon with a single squid. So first, let's go over to our GitHub and clone the squid multichain template. This template indexes USDC transfers on Ethereum and Binance Chain, and we're going to change it and make it index Polygon instead of Binance. So make sure you have the Subsquid CLI installed, and then you can copy this link and go ahead and paste into your terminal and clone the project. After cloning the project, let's cd into it and run npm ci, so it will install all the dependencies. Now let's open it in the code editor and look around the project. So first we have schema GraphQL, just as the normal squid, and we are going to have a single schema for both processors. We also have a source folder. In the source folder we have the ABI folder for an ERC20 token that we will use to filter transactions. Then we have the BSC folder that contains the Binance processor, and an ETH folder that contains an Ethereum processor. And in this video, we're going to replace Binance processor with a Polygon processor. So let's take a look at the Binance processor. First, let's rename this folder into Polygon. And now we can set that lookup archive to Polygon as well. Also make sure to replace the address with the Polygon USDC address, and also rename the variable. The fields we are going to leave the same. We need to make sure that the block range is appropriate for the Polygon network, and we also need to replace this address with the Polygon USDC address. And we can save this. Now let's go over to main.ts. So here we need to replace Polygon address as well. Also make sure that the state schema is different for both processors. So this is going to be Polygon processor schema, and the other processor is going to have ETH processor schema. So this processor saves transfers into an array, and it filters the logs by the address that we provided and by transfer went. Then we decode the log and save it into our database. So let's rename the network into Polygon. And the processor is ready to run. If we take a look at the Ethereum processor, we will see that it has the same logic but a different state schema. And a different token address, but the setup is the same. Also, let's not forget to replace the RPC. So this should be a Polygon RPC endpoint. After replacing the RPC, we need to go into commands.json and make sure that we replace all of the Binance commands with Polygon. So for this, we can just search for BSC and replace it with Polygon. And now we're ready. The two processors are going to run simultaneously, but they're going to use a single database for saving the data. So we're going to be able to look up both Ethereum and Polygon transfers in the single database. So let's build our project. Now let's run sqd up. For this, make sure that you have your Docker running. Now we need to apply the migration, so let's run sqd migration apply. So now we're ready to run the processors. For this, let's run the command sqd run, and it will run both processors at the same time. So now the processors are running, and as you can see, we are getting logs from both Polygon and Ethereum processors. So now let's look at the GraphQL endpoint. So let's open a new terminal window and run sqd serve. Now we have a GraphQL server open on port 4350. So let's go over to the browser and check it out. And here we have our transfers. So let's try to look at some of them. Let's say we want 10 transfers with block, from address, ID, and network. So here we have 10 transfers and they're all on ETH. Let's try to get some Polygon transfers. So to get some Polygon transfers to make sure that both our processors are functioning correctly, let's modify our query. So we want to say network equals to Polygon. Let's try running this, and as you can see, we can actually fetch transactions also from Polygon and not just Ethereum. So that means that we are indexing both networks at the same time. So just like this, you can run a multiprocessor squid, and it's not necessary to limit the number of processors to 2. You can add more as long as you also follow the steps and modify the commands to run them. And let's stop the processor and also check out how we can run individual processors. If you want to run only the Ethereum processor, you can type sqd process ETH, and this will start only the Ethereum one. So here we have started processing blocks, and if we stop this one, we can also do the same thing for our Polygon processor. This solution is more convenient than running 2 separate squids for different networks, in case you want to store data about different networks in the same database. So let's stop this processor too. And to bring it down, just like before, we just run sqd down. So this is it for this multiprocessor squid demo, and I'm going to leave the link to the repo below this video, and also all the addresses and the template GitHub as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below.